It's time for JUCO Jam, presented to you by Dream Big Athletics, hosted by Tad Slowick, an exciting new podcast bringing you all the great action from JUCO baseball. Here you'll find weekly updates from around the country, highlighting the teams, players, and coaches who impact the game at the junior college level. Everything you want to learn about JUCO baseball can be found here and on our website at dreambigathletics.com. There you'll find our weekly team rankings, the top player rankings headed into the spring, and all the news of what is happening in the game at the junior college level. On this show, you will have many guests, coaches, players who will give us insight on the day-to-day, behind-the-scenes working of junior college baseball. And now our host, Tad Slowick.
Welcome, baseball fans, to another episode of the JUCO Jam. I'm Tad Slowick, your host, and this week we will be talking about all the highlights and action from the week of February 27th. And I got with me my co-host and partner in crime, Lou Temple. How you doing today, Lou?
Yeah, Tad, the fishing's fine. And here we are, almost out of February, the first month of the season. Can you believe it? It's crazy. Right. And the baseball is in full boat. We're hitting stride. I mean, these teams are really playing some fantastic ball and beating up on each other and overcoming bad starts and continuing with great starts, and everything just seems to be cooking, man.
Yeah, we got all kinds of action at the JUCO level. I mean, like you said, guys playing well, guys off to slow starts are coming around now, and the teams up north are starting to break loose a little bit and play some games. And so we're seeing an action all over the place. And probably in about another week or two, everybody will be playing finally. And that'll be when things really hit the deck.
So we really are jamming. We're jamming.
Yeah, we're JUCO jamming then. And
all right.
Within the next week or two, everybody will be JUCO jamming. So you're going to be jamming this weekend in Las Vegas, aren't you?
Yeah, I head over to Las Vegas for the Vegas Toy Show, and this is a pop culture convention where you get to meet a lot of celebrities, people from
including yourself.
I'll be there signing autographs on behalf of The Walking Dead, no doubt. There'll be people like Eric Estrada from Chips. You remember him?
Absolutely.
How about Daisy Duke? Catherine Bach will be there.
Wow.
From Dukes of Hazzard. I think Ron Perlman is going to be there. He's the original Hellboy and also Sons of Anarchy. So there'll be a good group. So if you're in the Vegas area, come on out and say hello and let me know about some of your JUCO enthusiasm, and catch me up on your favorite JUCO team. And I'll bring it back to the show next week. How's that? And maybe Tad, if I get a break, not likely, I might go out and see someone play in Vegas, which would be.
We got
would you suggest?
Salt Lake's at Southern Nevada. That'll be a big matchup between those two, and it's always a big rivalry. So Vegas will have the toy convention, and then the matchup between Salt Lake and Southern Nevada. So
it sounds like, as always, Vegas is the place to be.
Vegas is definitely the place to be. So
even if it's not, yeah, exactly. Well, Tad, catch us up a little bit on the goings on this past week. Lots of action. Really got after it this weekend. What's first on your list?
Right. Well, I mean, the top 10 has really been a tough place to get to because there's a lot of teams playing really well, solidifying themselves at the top. A lot of the same powers: Central Florida, Central Arizona, Walter State, Iowa Western's got off to 8-0 start. McLennan's there. And but we do have some newcomers. South Mountain has moved all the way up to 6th. I mean, they started the preseason at 25, and so they're playing good ball at 16-4. But the team I want to talk about here, who's really on a roll, is Gulf Coast. They got a 9-game winning streak. They've beaten John Logan, a ranked team, twice, beat Walls Dothan, and then they beat Andrew this past weekend twice, who was a ranked team who really came out strong in that early tournament in Panama City. So They're firing on all cylinders. They got the pitching. They got some guys really swinging the bat. So, start with Carson Dorsey, typical. Can't say enough about this guy. He's just been awesome this year. He threw 6 innings versus Andrew with no runs, 1 hit, 11 Ks in 6 innings with two walks only. I mean, he's just been dominant when he's been out on the mound. And then they come back in game 2, and it turned into a slugfest. And the Commodores ended up hitting 5 home runs in the nightcap in the 17-10 victory. Sounds like a football score. Cade Parker, Ethan Lozama, Walt McConnell, Caleb Henry has been really swinging the bat. Cade Parker and Ethan Lozama both have 5 home runs each on the season. R.J. Johnson's hitting 362 for them. And then their pitching staff has just been dominant. They got 138 punch-outs and 121 innings for their pitching staff. And,
Jeez.
that's over a strikeout an inning as a staff. And that's throwing the ball and getting things done on the mound. So Gulf Coast is really streaking hard and playing really well.
It sounds like they're stingy with the runs, but they'll beat you up on the other side with the bats as well. So it's a tough series, tough weekend.
Yeah, they're well equipped to play anybody right now. I think they're like you said, the pitching and the hitting is doing real well. And we had talked about earlier how Central Florida had separated themselves for a while, but here comes Gulf Coast, just charging up a storm. So the Central Florida is going to have some suitors here before the end of the year. And next, I want to talk about San Jac, who has been getting on track lately. Had a big 4-game sweep over Coastal Bend over the weekend. They're 13-6 now, and seem to be firing on all cylinders. Pitchers Francisco Hernandez and John Paul Ramos were responsible in the first game of the series, a 6-2 win. They had 12 Ks and really pitched strong. Cale Lansville also had a strong outing, pitching, 7 innings strong with 10 Ks, and really they look pretty good on the mound right now, strong. And then Jake Bennett, catcher, still continues to swing a hot bat with a 390 average, 3 homers, 15 RBIs. Along with Armani Sanchez, Trey Rucker, Luke Nail. They got it firing on the offense pretty good right now. So they're looking like the San Jac that we know.
Hey, Tad, so is Jake a true catcher? I know that he throws his leather around a little at first base sometimes, but you like him behind the plate?
Yes, I do.
Great.
I think he's got that mentality, leadership back there. He has to clean up some things in his game, but, what college catcher doesn't? And, if they want to move on to the next level, have to make some adjustments and some improvements. But, I really like his package back there, and, he's a good all-around player. I like him behind
his bat's going to play. Let's just be honest.
Yeah, there's no doubt. He's a hitter probably first and foremost, and but like I said, I like his defense. He throws well, and
good.
I like him behind the plate. So
great.
So next team I want to talk about, who's been on a roll. We've been talking about them quite about. They got it together. It seems like a real cohesive group of kids that they got over there, and they're playing well together in all aspects of the game also.
Good to hear.
And then you'd think that they'd be pulling away from everybody, but now they got the one big-time contender in their region, which is Gaston at number 12. And, Florence Darlington has kind of owned that region for a while, and then Gaston came from Division II, moved up to D1, and is having a great year in their first year at the Division I level. And we got them ranked at 12th. They're on an 11-game winning streak. Before they had to loss to Lenore over the weekend, but they've been surging too. They're averaging over 9 runs a game. Trey Truitt and Freddie Oliver both have 4 homers each. Wade Kelly leads the team in average with 387. He's got 3 homers also. And Kyle McKernan on the mound leading them 4-0, 2.14 run average, 35 Ks and 21 innings. So that's a good number 1 guy to go with and win some ball games. So Gaston is right on the heels of Florence Darlington, and that's going to be one hell of a matchup in that region, and they're going to go after it like nobody's business. I think that's going to be a hell of a rivalry all springtime.
That's fun. That's fun. And as you mentioned, I see you've got South Nevada right there as well, and they continue to put up the numbers.
Yeah, Collie got off to a little bit of a slow start. They've been like in charge of their region for quite a long time, and the team right behind Collie, Johnson County, is a team that is really going to be giving them a heck of a time this year. Also, I mean, Cloud County and Barton have been a teams that we're definitely keeping an eye on. Cloud County came in to the top 40 and made the rankings this week, and so that region is Colley's definitely gonna get tested this year. Not like they don't every year, but it's I think there's some formidable suitors who are gonna try to upend them. Let's talk about Johnson County for a second, and first of all, I want to congratulate Coach Eric Horner. He's got 100 wins now at Johnson County for the Cavaliers there, and all those milestones are great in the coaching world, and I think Eric is definitely going to have quite a bit more with the team that he's got put together this year. Johnson County's on a 10-game win streak. They're 12-2 starting, and just playing good ball. I always got to mention their catchers, but the catchers are doing well. Catcher Shane McGahan hitting 476 for them. So he leads the team in hitting.
Whoa.
Yeah, behind the dish hitting 476. Now that's a pretty good prospect right there.
Yep.
Dylan Huff also is batting 426 on the mound. They just got plenty of wealth on the mound. Cole Coons, Luke Plata, Ty Blecka, and Gabe Nutter are just, pitching really well for them. And that's what's really surging the streak is their consistency on the mound. Really playing well. And I'm really excited to see how that region plays out this spring. It just got plenty of teams who can battle out there. You don't want to forget Kansas City also has a good club. And so there's going to be quite the matchups come springtime there in the Kansas area.
Yeah, congratulations, Coach Eric, man. That's fantastic. 100 wins, 100 W's to hang up on the.
Well, then let's talk about our team at number 21. I want to talk about, too, is Pensacola. They're quietly surging and really playing well, too. I mean, they won 9 in a row. They got a 16-3 record. They've beaten ranked teams like Logan. They knocked off Pearl River when they were number 1 and stuff. And, they beat Chipola. They swept Calhoun. So they're really firing on all cylinders, too. I mean, I really like this club. I think they're a pretty exciting bunch here. Bladen Plain hitting 407 with 5 homers, 16 RBIs. He's got 5 stolen bases. Andreas Lewis II is also a catcher, so you would enjoy watching him play. 389, 3 homers, 22 RBIs. And Carter McCauley, their shortstop, hitting 333 with 4 homers, 17 RBIs. He's got 10 stolen bases, too. So, that kid's a great athlete and really making things happen for them. On the mound, they got Josiah Glodfetter. He's 4-0 with a 2.18 earned average, 21 Ks in 20 innings. And then Press Jeffcoat is really throwing the ball good. He's 3-0, 0.64 earned average, 15 Ks in 14 innings. And Andrew Lewis also has been strong out of the pen with a 0.69 earned average, 16 Ks in 13 innings. So they got some people there that are really playing well, and so watch out for them. They're definitely an up and comer also.
And their schedule hasn't been easy to start with either.
No, they're playing ranked teams, and they're battling, and it's not going to get any easier too. That conference is so tough. They got Gulf Coast in there, Pensacola, Chipola, Northwest Florida's playing well again. Tallahassee. I mean, there's no break in the schedule.
Yeah, there's not an easy weekend at all. No.
Yeah, so all those teams are going to have their work cut out for them. So, going down the list here too, just mention some teams. Southern Idaho's playing again. They had a 4-game sweep, so they're still undefeated at 12-0. Central Alabama's been playing real well. Tallahassee, and then, like I said, Northwest Florida getting back in the rankings, starting to play well and getting all that talent, firing on all cylinders too. And then Weatherford is back, and the Bears back, and like I said, Cloud County playing really well, 8-3. They're going to be tough in that Kansas region. So, and then we have a lot of teams that we're on the watch here who have great records, and when they start playing some tougher opponents, we'll see what they're made of. And but you got to give them credit for the wins they put up so far and the seasons they put up so far. So that's a good rundown of Division I right there.
Well, speaking of great records and sliding over to Division II, what can we say about Eunice? I mean, my goodness.
I mean, they're 17-0. They're playing just great, and you can't deny them the top spot. Pearl River is a great club, and that's a great. That's the collision course right there.
Okay.
LSU, Eunice, and Pearl River are going to meet at some time to go to the World Series, and I don't want to count all those other teams out, but I mean those two are prohibitive favorites right now, and so I hope that rivalry continues, and there's some great baseball ahead for both those teams, and when they meet, it's going to be one heck of a series. So.
Well, hopefully you'll be there. Yeah,
I'd
get
love
you there.
that.
Yeah,
I'd love to be down. I love that at Pearl River. They put on a good show down there, and they got a nice ballpark and the Dub, and it's a lot of fun watching baseball down there. Yeah, Madison hasn't got out of the gate yet. Lansing finally got their first couple games under the belt, beat Parkland in a tough battle. So Lansing's getting off to a good start. And a team I want to talk about here in the top 10 is Murray State. Murray State is really got off to a great start, and they actually got LSU Eunice, I think, next week. So that's going to be a good test for them early on, and a good test, obviously, for Eunice also. But Garrett Gruhl pretty much leads the nation in about everything. I mean, he's got a 400 average. He's got 9 homers already.
Dang.
9 homers, 25 RBIs. Really swinging the bat. That kid's a monster, and he really could swing it. So it's I'm happy for him that he's off to such a great start. I'm sure that Murray State is happy about it too. So they also got Brady Benedict too, hitting .542 with 2 homers and 17 RBIs, and that .542 isn't just like out of 10 or 12 at bats. I mean, the guy's already got over 50 at bats, and he's hitting .542, and just unbelievable, numbers he's putting up early on. Left-handed pitcher Colby Langford is 3-0 with a 2.7 earner average. He's got 35 punch-outs in 20 innings. That's getting it done and, shutting people down. They got a closer named Tyler Zylstra, who's got 3 saves. He's got a .79 earner average with 15 Ks in 11 innings. So it's good to have that guy at the end of the game being able to close it down. So really good. I went to the World Series last year, and it's going to be tough to deny him that spot again this year. So it's still a long way to go, but they're looking pretty strong. Coming in at number 10, also Iowa Central has been playing good. They've won 5 games in a row also, and it's good to talk about these northern teams here, and they're 9-1 also, and really only lost 1 game. Colton Becker, 371 batting average, 2 homers, 13 RBIs. Michael Seamer, 364 with 2 homers and 10 RBIs, really got up to a good start. And then this guy, on the mound, they got Albert Perizek, who's really throwing the ball well. He's got 16 shutout innings so far with 26 Ks and 4 walks. I mean, just really throwing the ball well.
Those
just
are some
dominant
numbers, dude.
Yeah, I mean, 16 straight innings without a run, that's pretty damn good. So, he's getting the job done. Then they got Easton Johnson, who's 1-0 with a 1.59 earner average, 17 Ks in 11 innings. So, they got it. up at the plate, on the mound, and I mean, obviously, no secret of success. We're mentioning all these teams with some good arms and good pitching that are getting things done. Obviously, if you get consistent on the mound, you got a
Yeah,
good chance to
usually
run
that's
off a
the
good
right
streak.
formula for winning is some hosses on the hill to take you where you want to be. The middle of the pack seems like they're still kind of finding their balance. Nobody's establishing themselves. But you had mentioned to me like Lenore. You've got your eye on them. How come that is?
Yeah, Lenore. I just thought that they're playing well. And they beat Gaston this weekend, and I 1 out of 3. But
Even still,
I just think, yeah, I mean, Gaston is playing as good as anybody in the country right now, and to knock them off and they get off to a good start. They're 10-5. They're a solid club, and they're a team that we may hear some things from. Kevin Jones is hitting 429 with a home run, 13 RBIs. Tanner Cannon is hitting 347. He's got 8 stolen bases, and then they get a lefty on the mound, Greg Gerganius, who's got almost 10 innings with no runs let up. So they got a guy that could shut the door on people too. So they're looking real good. I don't want to forget about some teams out west. I mean, in Arizona, we talk about Central Arizona and South Mountain. The good D1 clubs they got out there, but they got some really good D2 baseball out there. And, Phoenix is playing real well. We got them up at number 11. And then
yeah.
Chandler Gilbert at number 20. I want to just mention them a little bit. They're playing good ball, 12-5. Tate Lewis is hitting 421 with 2 homers, 18 RBIs. Dante Turgeon is hitting 404 with 4 homers and 20 RBIs. Then they got Trayson Peters on the mound, 3-0, 3.24 earned average, 16 Ks, only 2 walks this year. So that's a secret of success there too. And then they got a closer. These teams who are doing well also got guys that could shut it down late. Sam Roberts got 3 saves. He's got 8 innings of shutout baseball pitch with 10 Ks and 0 walks. So
Nice.
you'd like
That's
to see that.
command. Yeah, man.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, what closer doesn't drive a manager crazy? Usually he walks a guy or two
Yeah.
or gets people in scoring position. Seems like making the game interesting before he slams the door. But this guy seems to be pretty dominant in relief and stuff. So, and then we got a bunch of people trying to get started here too. Kankakee going to be opening up soon along with McHenry. Uh, a couple of Mississippi teams are playing real well. Northeast and East Mississippi are playing real well. They've had tough schedules early on and have battled through those and are coming out pretty good. Lackawanna got off to a good start, 3-1. I just like saying Lackawanna.
I do too.
And
I like hearing
exactly.
you say it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Lackawanna.
exactly. Lackawanna. And then we got Itawamba as one of the teams to watch. So we got some things going on here with our vocabulary. So
A lot of fun just to say those teams. What about St. John's now? St. John River. They've got
yeah,
a fair share of games under their belt, and they're battling,
yeah,
right?
yeah. They got some good things. I mean, they went on a really good early streak. They've had some tough games lately and stuff. I know that they lost East Mississippi a couple times, which is one notch ahead of them, and just been, playing, they play that that
Yeah.
South schedule early on. And, you're not gonna come out too unscathed out of there. So,
Yeah.
but I really like them. I really think they're going to make a good run here and, climb their way up the rankings.
Division Two is in full swing, and their schedule
Yeah.
just keeps getting better and better. The weather's clearing a little bit, although let's be honest, this right now, the weather all over the country is mixed. It's a little difficult. Even out here on the Golden Sun, the West Coast has been rain and snow. So I know it's been hard for everybody to get out on the field, but they're playing in Florida and they're still playing in Arizona and Texas,
Yeah,
so
and the northern teams are sneaking down there too to get in some games early on, and it's they're a little disadvantage. So coming out of the gate so good out of the north, so and then like I said, this weekend D2, you got that big Murray State's traveling and playing LSU Eunice, and I can't wait to see what happens in that matchup. It's going to be a great weekend down there. So
that'll be fun to keep our eye out. And then Tad, for Division III, we open up in another couple weeks or next week.
well, some teams have started playing and got some games under their belt, but we'll start really getting into them within the next week or two. I mean, everybody will be playing at worst by mid March, but so in the next week or two, you should see everybody having some kind of wins and losses. So, get those all cranked up. Division III is exciting this year. You got Herkimer,
Yeah.
Niagara. You got Erie's a tough team. That Northeast is always a tough road. Then you got Oakton out of the Central here, along with Owen, the rugged bunch, which I call them in New Jersey. With Rowan County, Gloucester, Rowan County, Cumberland. You got Brook. You got some real strong teams in that New Jersey area. So it's going to be a battle here, and like you said, you just hope these teams get their games in early on, and the weather cooperates. For most part, I feel like we've been a little bit unscathed up north a little bit this year, at least in Chicago area. We have been more of a milder, even though the days when it's not so mild don't feel so good. But hopefully we could have an early spring for all these teams, and just makes baseball better. Baseball's a warm weather sport, and
the time of year when the flowers are in bloom, there's new grass. That's our hopes are alive. We've got fresh optimism for our team, and
spring training, right?
Yeah, right. Hope springs eternal, springs, and so it's spring. So this time of year in February, I'm looking for the weather to change, but I guess the groundhog didn't give us the free pass, so we're going to do a little more winter for at least one more week, and then
Right.
maybe we'll blow into March with some great weather. Well, this has been a fantastic recap as usual, Tad.
Yeah.
I think
a lot of action. We're trying to get to everybody, and make sure no one goes unnoticed. And
so, Tad, tell me about scheduling during the week. These teams typically, do they play a midweek tune-up before a weekend series?
No, some teams do. It just depends how their conference is. Like some of the conferences are spread out during the week, so they play like a Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday type of schedule and stuff. So it just depends on the conference. So you're going to get some, strong midweek games sometimes, and then but everything's geared towards everybody's conference now. Not quite everybody, but I mean, everybody's starting to gear up for their rivals, their conference, their close by games. They've done a little traveling now, and now they're ready to hunker down for, when it all counts, because it's so important for these teams to win their region. They win their region, they get to go places. So, that's always the battle. And there's some really good rivalries shaping up this year, both D1, D2, D3, and, we'll cover them for you, and we'll make sure that everything JUCO about. So you make sure you have a great weekend in Vegas. I mean, it's hard not to enjoy yourself.
I'll let you. I'll look for a toy. Is there a particular toy you want me to? This is like collectors. All the vendors show up with vintage toys. So maybe I'll be looking for a Rock'em Sock'em robot. That was one of the toys I never got. I never got one.
I like those Rock'em Sock'em robots, man. So
those were a lot of fun. How about the football? The vibrating.
The vibrating football is always good.
Those were
Yes,
great.
except when your guy was running the wrong way. That was always the rougher part.
And then do you
Yeah,
remember the hockey? You remember the hockey that
yeah,
had the
the spinning
slots?
it right. Yeah, exactly.
That was their
Yeah,
those.
so
Now we have video games that make that stuff look
like,
antiquated,
oh, childish. Yeah, they're
no doubt.
literally childish, and
Well, they
some of the
were.
kids.
That's what the point was, and
Yeah, some of these kids listening to the our broadcast right now are probably going, "What the hell are they talking about? Vibrating football and stuff like that." So, rock 'em,
exactly. Well,
sock 'em, robots. So,
I'm telling you,
hey,
it was.
did the trick when we were young. So it's
Yeah,
all
we had a lot
good.
of fun, just like we're having right
So
now. Well, thank you always for having
yeah,
me, and I'll be back this week,
yeah,
coming
yeah.
back and seeing what happens at the
Right.
JUCO
Can't wait
Jam.
hear about all the good things in JUCO baseball, and for all the things you need to know, tune into dreambigathletics.com, and you can find all the rankings, all the highlights, and these JUCO Jam podcasts. So, as always, Lou, is a pleasure, and good on you, and good luck with all your endeavors.
All right, thanks,
We'll
Tad. I'll see you next week.
All right. Have a good one. This is Tad Sloak with the JUCO Jam signing off for this week. Have a good one, baseball fans.
You've been listening to JUCO Jam. For all your junior college needs, go to dreambigathletics.com and make sure to tune in to next week's episode of JUCO Jam.